I could try the tree branch again, but it felt like it was harder to do there. Okay, there I got it. I guess I just wasn't waiting long enough. Okay, the entrance is right over here. So if I float somewhere... Okay, well I don't have much time to find the entrance. So I hope I find it. Ah, there I got it. Although it doesn't help that I'm getting hit. There we go, I had to hit the loading zone. I got it! Yay! Even though it took me forever. Woo! Yes! Party! Okay. It's not supposed to go at an angle, and Swirly Swirl comes from his LP. Uh, Josh Jepson? Yeah, I know who that is. I haven't really been able to keep up with everyone I'm subscribed to, unfortunately. I do follow a lot of people, I will admit that. So sometimes it gets hard to keep up with who's doing what. I guess it's something I could talk a little bit about, though. I mean, you guys can fill in on this, too. Why am I don't need rupees, Link. Don't get distracted. Just focus on the tree that has a face on it. And is supposedly the same tree from Ocarina of Time that sprouted after Link completed the Forest Temple. And nasty chews and blobs all over it. He's got boogers! I'll get to the topic here soon enough. I just want to save the Deku Tree. I feel like this little confrontation here was a lot more threatening than in later situations where you have to face the chews. And yes, this is the first time I'm picking up red chew jelly, because I didn't get any at Dragon Roost Cavern. Okay, get all of you, and get the green jelly. Okay, and scroll through huge amounts of text. You can actually do parry attacks on these enemies. Oh, they got back on the tree again. That's not a big deal, though. But he's sad again. Oh, come on, they're not that threatening. There's only 2 of them. Okay, there we go. Oh, and here we have more ancient Hylian text that we can't read. If you're playing the second quest of the game, it does get translated to English, so you can actually understand what it says. I forget what he says exactly. I think he says some reference to the original Link from Ocarina of Time, or something like that. I don't remember. It's warts and zits. I like that. Yeah, I've seen stuff from the Runaway guys before. The video game Olympics. Yeah, that'll be cool. I like the idea of it, too. It makes me wonder if the Sonic, or Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games had some kind of influence with that idea. We have need of the Pearl of the Goddess, yes. I see. I knew there was a reason the monsters had begun to congregate in the regions around my wood. He has returned. Ganon has returned. In that case, we must make haste. Koroks, little children of the woods, this traveler is not your enemy. Let your hearts be at ease and show yourselves. Now, Nintendo has confirmed that the Koroks are supposed to be the Kokiri after the events of the Ocarina of Time cycle and moving on to the adult timeline. What do you call yourself? Link. Well then, Link, these are the Koroks, the spirits of the forest. Once upon a time long ago, the Koroks took on human forms, but even there you go. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. But when they came to live on the sea, they took these shapes. Now they fear people, but to me they will ever be my cherished little children. So if you take into consideration that these Koroks were the Kokiri, and the fact that the original sage, Fado, was a Kokiri, then that also alludes to the Rito, including Medlai and Prince Kamali and the chieftain, everyone, all the Ritos, were originally Zoras, because the original sage of the Earth Temple, Laruta, was a Zora. So that's the theory that's going on. And by the way, this is my favorite Korok, Linder, because he has a four-leaf clover on his face. Oh, and I got his name right. That's good. I was afraid of that for a second. What is the matter, Linder? You and Makar are always late. No, no, it's not that, oh great Deku Tree. Makar fell into the Forbidden Woods. What? The Forbidden Woods? I told him to be careful, but still Makar flew above the Forbidden Woods, and as he drew close to it... Foolish little Makar. Link, you have heard all this? The Forbidden Woods are right beside the hallowed island of our Forest Haven. Those woods, the whole region, is a vile place that is home to evil beasts. Now it seems that they have taken a child of the forest named Makar. Your presence here is no mistake, I deem. Oh, that's another thing I could talk about. The original Deku Tree, I mentioned this in my Ocarina of Time Let's Play, when I did the Japanese version of it. The original Deku Tree is believed to be either the Forest Haven or the Forbidden Woods. A lot of people seem to lean toward the Forbidden Woods, mainly in the sense that both the Deku Tree itself and the Forbidden Woods are dungeons. And the fact that the Deku Tree has died, the original Deku Tree, not this one, from Ocarina of Time. Not confirmed, but that's the speculation behind it. So we gotta climb all the way up there to get our next broken item. You want to play Wind Waker? Wow, there's so much text going on. Sorry, I gotta pause so I can catch up with the chat. I apologize, but I want to see what you're saying. The original Zelda is your favorite? No way. Yeah, that's what I thought he said. What's all this about trolls now? I don't think there's any. The original is your favorite? No joke? No, I think they were saying shut up in the sense like, no way, shut up, dude, like that. They weren't saying like shut up like in a jerkish way. That's how I interpreted it anyway. I, I don't know. um, no, it was just the way the context of how they said it was. That's what I was talking about. Anyway, that's there was a topic I was going to mention about here while I climb the tree. Um, the first Let's Player I've ever seen before on YouTube was actually not Slim Kirby, and I fell instantly. That was impressive. It's actually someone who's not Let's Playing anymore. At least I don't think they are. But the channel name is Girakai. They were like a big fan of anime, and I actually felt bad for the guy because people were making fun of him for having braces. Again, you know, when you're back in the mid-2000s era, having braces was considered being a dork and all that jazz. Pretty much the year 2003, it was around the time when Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald came out. That was the year when being called a nerd was actually offensive. Nowadays, no one really cares if you're called a nerd. But back then, it actually was an insult to be called that, because that was the time when people hated pretty much anything that came after first generation Pokemon. And you were called a nerd if you still liked Pokemon, all that stuff. And the stereotypes of people who wear glasses and braces and all that applied as well. Uh, I was just mixing different things that applied to being called a nerd. But I felt bad for the guy because I actually really enjoyed his commentary, and I didn't care that he had braces. I overlooked that completely. I don't. I think later on he eventually had them taken out, but it just was so sad to see him get criticized for that. I thought it was anyway. Anyway, we got the Deku Leaf. Okay, back to more chat catch up. Boy, well, Bluetooth 9's the next one getting picked on so much. Okay, same here, Tobin Wonderland. As far as Slim Kirby not being the first LP I was subscribed to. Well, Tobin Wonderland actually did not exist prior to 2011. I had a different channel. I actually don't even remember what the name was because I barely used it. I was only using it to save favorites. But I ended up closing it because that's all I did. But back then, I remember, like, before closing it, though, I did subscribe to the Let's Player I talked about, Girakai, and Mr. Dower Power was around at the time as well. That was the other person I found. And then I found Slim Kirby. Um, After that, like, they were the first couple Let's Players I found, but the very first one I ever saw was Girakai. Um, he's not making any, though, that I'm aware of. That's the way I look at it too. Like, why would it matter that someone has braces? Like, because that's the thing. People were making fun of his speech, like saying, "Oh, you talk like a spaz," and "Oh, this kid's got braces. He's a total nerd." Because I think at the time, like when he started, he was like, again, like it's just sad to see someone get criticized because of, again, a disability or some kind of hindrance in their lives that they don't really have full control over. Okay, some of you were saying Slim Kirby was the first ones you found. Bluetooth 9 says Chugga Conroy. That's kind of cool. All of us have our own share of who we saw, like, as the first Let's Plays that we ever seen. Oh, and that's the other thing. The very first Let's Play I ever watched was Banjo-Kazooie. It was actually a marathon that Girakai was doing. Uh, but that was the very first game I ever watched a Let's Play of, was Banjo-Kazooie, done by Girakai. Anyway, how did I miss that? Oh my... Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to go for that, maybe? Yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna go the way I was supposed to go anyway. Anyway, restock on magic. There is a glitch known as leaf pumping. I am really not that familiar with it, but from what I'm aware of, it basically lets you avoid losing any height in gliding with the Deku Leaf. Because when you use the Deku Leaf, you just glide and you slowly descend. But if you put the Deku Leaf away and then take it back out instantly, you do a glitch known as leaf pumping. And it lets you keep the same amount of height for long distances. The problem with it, though, is it drains magic very fast. Because every time you activate the Deku Leaf, it causes the magic meter to activate, and it automatically takes away a small sliver as soon as you activate the leaf. If that made any sense. And yeah, shortly after Slim Kirby was when I heard about Madame Wario and Dark Minded Sith. And at the time, they had what was known as the Five Lost Levels. Um, uh, Mr. Dower Power was part of that, as well as Tina Von Rutter Games and Brenna Jadrosich. Some of these people I still follow. Um, and they eventually had Little Foo 68 as well. They really couldn't be called. It didn't make sense for them to be called the Five Lost Levels when Little Foo joined, so they considered her the Extra Lost Level, if that makes any sense, because that was the name of their co-op channel. It's still up. It's sad to see that channel go because it had a lot of my favorite people on there. Uh, I feel bad for having to do this, but I wasn't paying attention to the direction I need to face when I change the wind. Okay, there we go. Got so caught up in the conversation that I wasn't paying attention. Oh yes, Big Dip on a Bus as well. Um, that's actually Brenna Giadrosic's husband right now. And that reminds me, that's the reason I didn't stream last weekend was because a bunch of people I was following, not just Big Dip on a Bus, but and Brenna Giadrosic, but like Jay Witz, the Shinjinator, Maryland, and a bunch of other people were doing the Elite Four Charity Waters. And, well, I also had school going on. I was starting work and all that, too, in between. But I wanted to make sure I was had the chance to watch what everyone was doing as well. It's kind of sad, because some of their content got taken off of Twitch TV already. Like, at least I got to see it. But some of it already got removed, I guess because they didn't save the videos. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to change the wind here again so we can enter the next dungeon. Yeah, he's Big Dip on a Bus is doing Nuts and Bolts right now. Uh, I'm like one of the few people in my area who actually likes that game. Pretty much around where I live, nobody likes that game at all because it's not Banjo 3. Like they wanted it they expected too much out of Nuts and Bolts and they wanted it to be the next platformer Banjo-Kazooie. The reason I think Rare did not make it a platformer was because they weren't sure how people would accept another platformer in modern generation gaming. Anyway, we can get rid of these guys. But yeah, here's leaf pumping. I kind of did it there at the end. Basically, it was keeping me from falling down any lower, but it did drain my magic pretty fast. But anyway, here's the next dungeon, Forbidden Woods. And it seems quick that I'm like dungeon hopping pretty fast, but that's because I'm skipping like all the side quest orgies in this game. Yes, I did use the word orgies. Because this game and Majora's Mask are full of side quests. Not that that's a bad thing. Okay. Now I wanted the jelly. Thank you. And magic. Okay, from what I'm aware of, this place has another, actually two glitches that you can exploit here. One is getting the boomerang relatively fast. It involves dry storage. Like that wasn't obvious. I mean, I've been using that glitch quite a bit. Okay. And is there any more? I think there's more over to the right. Yep, there is. More boogers to destroy. The thing I hate about the green shoes is they hide in the ground. They kind of remind me of the Heartless, like from Kingdom Hearts. Well, the Shadow Heartless is, because they hide, they hide into the ground and then come out to attack. The green shoe kind of do the same thing on this game. There are a ton of LPers out there. I'm glad that you talk a lot. People who stream and don't talk are boring as beep. There are countless LPers. Damn straight lobster low. Use the boomerang to help with them once you get it. The Deku Leaf also stuns them, by the way. Stuns what? Oh, you mean the chews? Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. But yeah, I talk a lot, and then I end up losing track of what I was originally saying, just because there's like a lot I like to want to discuss about. So like another thing too is like with my Let's Play voting video that's up right now. Uh, People really want Viva Pinata the most, and that actually, I was getting a little worried. Like, I'm thinking, what am I gonna do for this LP? Because from what I'm aware of, like, it's a game I really haven't played much of. Um, but I am aware that it's a game that's similar to Animal Crossing because it is a simulation game. But it might be perfect for my commentary style because I like to kind of discuss different things in my videos. And I guess I can't restore any more magic. That's why I was cutting the grass. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. That is, if that's the LP that gets voted the most, which at this point it wouldn't surprise me if that's the direction it's going in.